I remember that day as if it were yesterday. It was a sunny morning and I was in my third period class, engrossed in our history lesson. Everything was normal until the intercom crackled to life and the principal's voice came on, sounding unusually tense. She announced a code red lockdown and instructed all teachers to follow the protocol immediately. At first, confusion swept through the classroom. Our teacher hurriedly closed and locked the door, while the rest of us instinctively huddled in the corner, away from the windows. The room fell eerily silent as we exchanged worried glances, trying to piece together what might be happening. The teacher tried to keep us calm, reassuring us that it was probably just a drill, but her voice quivered slightly, betraying her own unease. Time seemed to stretch as we sat there whispering quietly and occasionally hearing muffled footsteps echoing in the hallway. The air was thick with tension, and each passing minute felt like an eternity. We received no updates, no information about what was happening outside those classroom walls. All we could do was wait, our hearts pounding in our chests. As the minutes turned into hours, anxiety grew. We shared stories to distract ourselves, childhood memories, funny anecdotes, anything to keep our minds off the uncertainty. Some of us tried to check our phones for news, but there was no signal inside the classroom. The only connection to the outside world was the intermittent sound of sirens and distant voices, carried through the windows. Eventually, after what felt like an eternity, the intercom crackled to life again. This time, the principal's voice sounded relieved as she announced that the lockdown was over and it was safe to resume normal activities. A collective sigh of relief swept through the room, but a heavy weight of worry still hung in the air. Later, we learned that there had been a security threat in the area that had prompted the lockdown. While it turned out to be a false alarm, the experience left a lasting impact on all of us. The fear, the uncertainty, and the realization that danger could unexpectedly invade the seemingly secure walls of our school were feelings that stayed with me long after that day. It's a memory that serves as a stark reminder of the world we live in, where such incidents have unfortunately become a part of our reality. But it also reminds me of the resilience and support that emerged among us as we faced that situation together, united by our shared experience. I can still vividly recall the day when our routine school day took a terrifying turn. It was a chilly winter morning, and I was sitting in my English class listening to our teacher discuss a classic novel. Suddenly, the intercom crackled to life, and the principal's voice came through, urgent and tense. She announced a code yellow lockdown and instructed all teachers to secure their classrooms. Confusion swept across the room as our teacher swiftly locked the door and ushered us away from the windows. The usually bustling hallway outside fell silent, except for the distant sound of shuffling feet and muffled voices. The gravity of the situation settled in as we realized that this was not a drill. Something real and potentially dangerous was happening. We crouched on the floor, huddled together, and exchanged worried glances. The air was thick with tension, and even our teacher struggled to mask her own fear. We could only speculate about what was happening outside those walls, as no information reached us. Our only connection to the outside world was the faint sound of sirens that seemed to grow closer with each passing moment. Time dragged on, and anxiety gnawed at us. We whispered to each other in hushed voices, trying to distract ourselves from the fear that was steadily creeping in. Some students wiped away tears, while others stared at the closed door, straining to hear any updates. We clung to our phones, desperately trying to connect to the internet for any news, but the school's network was overwhelmed. As the minutes stretched into what felt like hours, a heavy sense of helplessness settled over the room. We were completely dependent on the information trickling in through the intercom, and the lack of control over our situation was agonizing. The uncertainty gnawed at us, and we all experienced a mix of fear, anger, and sadness. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the intercom crackled again. The principal's voice came through, sounding more composed this time. She informed us that the situation had been resolved, and it was safe to end the lockdown. A collective sigh of relief washed over us, mingled with a sense of cautious optimism. In the aftermath, we learned that there had been a police pursuit near the school premises, leading to the lockdown. While the incident wasn't directly related to the school, it had a profound impact on us. It highlighted the vulnerability of our seemingly secure environment and the reality that unforeseen events can disrupt even the most ordinary of days. The experience left a lasting impression on all of us, a reminder of the fragility of safety and the importance of being prepared for the unexpected. It also fostered a sense of unity among my classmates and me. a shared understanding of the fear and uncertainty we had endured together. For more content like this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.